Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play an old Poison song called Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And it starts on a really cool G major. We're going to start, and actually they tuned down a half step for this recording. So if you want to play along with the recording, then you want to tune down E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, E flat. But we're just going to do this lesson in standard tuning. But we start on a really cool G major chord with first finger on the A string, second fret. Second finger is going to go low E on the third fret. Third finger is going to go to the B string on the third fret, and the pinky is going to go to the high E, the skinny E on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G major, we're going to go to a very similar shape called C major 9. And basically from where we are, we're just going to move first finger, second finger to the D and A strings. So first finger's on the D second, second finger's on the A string on the second fret. Third finger's on the B string on the third fret still. Pinky's on the high E on the third fret still. And if you strum just the A string to the skinny E, that'll get you your clearest sound out of that. If you kind of miss and hit the low E string, that's still kind of part of the chord. And that's called C major 9. It sounds really, really happy. And a lot of our verse and our chorus is just going to be a lot of revolving around G major, G major, C major 9, C major 9, G major, G major, C major 9, C major 9, G major, C major 9, G major, C major 9. But then we're going to go to a D major chord. And the way you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret. The second finger is going to go to the high E on the second fret, and third finger is going to go to the B string on the third fret. And if you strum just D, G, B, and E, that sounds a D major chord. And actually, you may want to note your third finger is actually in exactly the same place as he is for the G major and the C major 9, so you can kind of hold on to third finger when you're making that chord change to D. And then we do another D major, and then we go back to C major 9, and then we do another C major 9. And then our chorus actually is a lot of that same kind of thing where we got G major, G major, C major 9, C major 9, G major, G major, C major 9, C major 9, G major, D major, C major, G major, G major, G major, C major. The only part that's different is our bridge part. And actually on the bridge part we go to an E minor chord. And I'm going to give you a couple ways to do this because one way would make more sense with the G and the C major 9. But the easiest way to play an E minor is to take first finger and go A string on the second fret. Second finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like an E minor chord that sounds really, really sad. So that would be one way to do the E minor. An alternative to that would be actually doing exactly the same thing, but taking third finger and going B string on the third fret, where we were for the C major 9 and the G, and taking the pinky and going high E on the third fret, exactly the same place they are for the G and the C major 9. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor 7, which is always a good substitute for E minor. Anytime you have an E minor chord, you can actually substitute this chord for it. And from the E minor, we're going to be going to D major, and then C major 9, G major, E minor, D major, C major 9, C major 9. So that's kind of our bridge part. And then we'll basically be repeating those parts through the song. One thing that I like to do with a song like this, though, to make it more interesting is add a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the G and just tried that a lot, you have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up. Up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, which would be one way to do the song. We'll talk about a more interesting way than that in a minute, but just to try that through our verse, you'd have a G down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, C major 9, down, down, up, down, C major 9, down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, C major 9, down, down, up, down, C major 9, down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, C major 9, down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, 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 D down, 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 C major 9, down, 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 C major 9, down, down, and then when we get to our chorus, then you can do that same strum pattern, that G down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, C down, down, way you can kind of work through it. And then on your bridge part, you'd have the E minor, down, down, up, down, D, down, 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 C major, down, 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 G, down, 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 E minor, down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, 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 C, down, down, down. But another option would be to use something called a 16th note strum pattern. And right now the down, down, up, up is working around something called an 8th note. If you were tapping your foot with that, and if you divide it into 2 parts, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called an 8th note. If you divide it into 4 parts, then that's something we call a 16th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this particular song, I really think a long down, 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 up, down, up, down, up works amazingly well. And it's one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns. And what I mean by that is like if you take the G and just do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. And on the second beat, you'd be doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you'd have down, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you'd be doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the fourth beat, you'd be going down, up, right along with your 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we put all those together, and you got long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Now if we're going to try that on our verse, actually, instead of feeling like 2 G's, now that one strum pattern kind of combines those. And there are a couple of chords that we'll actually have to have. Like when we get to that G, C in the second part of our verse. And on those parts, what I like doing is halving the strum pattern. I'll do just down, down, up, or down, 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 up on each of those chords. So you got G with down, 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 C, down, 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 G, down, 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 C, down, 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 up. So we try that through our verse. Then we got G, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, C, down, 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 up, down, down. So we got our G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, G down, 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 have a D down, 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 have a C down, 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 have a G down, 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 G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, big C. So that could be a really cool way to work that. And then when you get to your bridge, you'd be halving a lot of that part. Like on that first part of the bridge, you'd have E minor with the long down, 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 D down, 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 half C down, 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 half a G down, 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 E minor, half a D, E minor, half a D, down, down, down. Then we have a whole C, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So that's a little weird. And then when you get to your solo, it's almost like part of the verse combined with part of the bridge. So when you get to your solo, you got the G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, half an E minor, down, down, half a D down, down, half a C down, down, half a G down, down, half an E minor down, half a D down, down, the whole C. Something else that's kind of cool on the last verse, it almost sounds like you're doing a down on the G, and then a down on the C. So that could be cool to kind of contrast your last verse, kind of minimalizing what we were just doing. And then later on, it feels like you're doing kind of a long down up on the G, and then kind of a down on the C. And then we kind of do that again. Long down, up C, G down, up C, G down, up C. But then later on, it kind of picks up on the halving part, where you go G down, 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 C down, 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 G down, 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 C down, 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 the whole D down, 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 up, down, 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 the whole C, down, down, up, down, 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 and then we'd be on our last chorus. So you got G down, 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 up, down, 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 C down, 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 up, down, 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 G down, 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 up, down, 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 C down, 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 up, down, 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 have a G down, 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 have a G down, 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 have a C down, 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 have a G down, 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 the whole G down, 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 up, down, 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 the whole C. And then there's a really cool little outro lick where you go open E, and then second fret on low E, and then open A, and then open D, and then open E, and then kind of go back to G major and just kind of do it down. So we got O, 2, O, 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 G major. So that'd be a really cool way to kind of end the tune. But that's the basics of how you could strum through Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison. So good luck!